live. What is going on, guys? It is your boy, Eric of EMFC.
And this is Derek of DEMFC, or just DMFC at this point.
Oh, of course.
Forget
Wait,
the
no.
E.
DEFC. What?
Get the EF out.
You mean get the M out? Matt, again, is not
Oh,
here. He's still in temporary retirement, but eventually he'll show up. If not, he'll be here on chat. This is Wrestle Chat Podcast. It is a Thursday because we were out of commission yesterday, but we are back to chat all things wrestling. It is Royal Rumble weekend that has passed by. It is now the WrestleMania season. Ready for the recap, Derek?
I am.
All right, let's get to it. See if we can remember everything here. Not saying it's fully forgettable, but you know. Okay, just glitch on me. I didn't like that. Let me try again. Okay. It's just gonna transfer over. Gotta figure that technical issue out. But anyways, it is SmackDown first. I didn't really fully see it, just more like of highlights. So we'll quickly go through it. I know it was more important to see what was going on with the Royal Rumble. So starting out the night, the Vision interrupted Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso. They're all doing their shtick, you know. Everyone wants to win the Rumble. They have to promote it somehow because they haven't been promoting it these last couple of weeks because of Saturday night's main event. WWE just with their live events has just been all over the place. There was a United States Championship match. Carmelo Hayes faces Rey Fenix, which is most likely a spirited affair. As always, Carmelo Hayes retains. Judgment Day attempted to drive a wedge between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I think I did see a portion of that. Pretty much, they wanted to like split up their tag team fully because they knew, I guess, the law of the Royal Rumble right now is tag teams, so everyone's gonna team up, and that story will guide a little bit further into the night. This ends up leading to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss fighting Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez in a tag team match, where they end up winning by the help of Stephanie Vauquer. I don't know if she changed her song then or if she changed her song on Raw. And as you guys can see, they are fully kitted out because they were in Saudi Arabia. Because I'm like, what am I watching right now?
I didn't see any of this, so I'm
No.
just letting Eric carry. I saw some things, like some of these things are kind of coming back to me. Like I do remember that there were some things that happened here, the stuff with the women's stuff, the main event, the ongoing saga of Gargano and Axiom for Axiom, I
Yep.
should say. But yeah, I did not see much of it because I honestly didn't care.
Honestly, same thing. I mean, like Saudi Arabia, one, I'm working because they're doing it in the middle of the day. Two, Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia events have always been like non-canon to me. Now they put like one of the greatest events, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Backstage, Solo Sikoa gives away the tag title to Tala Tonga. Why did they even have him win in the first place? Jordan Grace is attacked by Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill still hasn't defended her title since November when she won it. So it's been like 2 to 3 months now. Insane. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky confront Nia Jax, Lash Legend, Julia, and Kiana James. Usual Royal Rumble stuff. Gunther vowed to end AJ Styles' career. Typical. Ilya Dragunov defeats The Miz. Filler. Drew McIntyre derailed by Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso versus The Vision. That's it. They're just pretty much a couple brawls to set up the storylines. And we head to the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble hailing from Saudi Arabia. Was it Riyadh this time?
Yeah, I think it was it was Riyadh? I don't know, Saudi Arabia. It was in a different venue. I know that much. A venue they built in like 20 days, but they built a brand new venue for this event. And the Royal Rumbled, I guess you could say. How did you feel before we get into the specifics? How did you feel about the pay-per-view?
You know, it's
It's
like
like,
it's hard to describe because the Royal Rumble to me has always been a special event. The Road to WrestleMania has always been special. I guess to like any wrestling fan, it's a huge thing, right? Um, I love wrestling. I've always loved wrestling for so many years. Royal Rumble is probably my favorite gimmick in all of wrestling. I think it's the most fun. The countdown. I remember there's just like a lot of fond memories in the past. Like let's say John Cena's win, Rey Mysterio's win, like shocking events that would lead the most important storylines in wrestling to the point of WrestleMania, which is like the season finale if you're watching a TV show, right? Especially the last few years, it's been fun just like chilling with the guys, and we've been hanging out and like watching it in like theaters and stuff, like private theaters, of course. Um, and enjoying just like playing games, the whole countdown, who's gonna eliminate who, and new stars are like born. They're like brought up from NXT, signed up from other companies. Now that they moved to Saudi Arabia, like I said, Saudi Arabia is more like a non-canon event for most terms. Like just a cash grab that WWE is trying to do, and now TKO is trying to do. And it was enjoyable. And I'm going to say more so because my dad has come back from like vacation, so he got to watch it with us. So we kind of watched it as a family, which was cool. But if you're looking at quality wise, the women's was better than the men's.
yep.
And I don't know. It just felt very out of place. Maybe because it started earlier, maybe because it's in Saudi Arabia. I feel like the crowd wasn't behind anything. There was a few wrestlers that they were truly behind, but like, besides that, it was just another Saudi event. Unfortunately, to me, that's personally my opinion.
I would I would probably agree. Like definitely I think from a production value, or from a production standpoint in terms of rumble matches, the women's match did better. Um I I think results wise, I'm not really mad at the results of what happened.
Yeah,
But I would probably nitpick in some of the things and how things were done and stuff like that. And maybe that's just me being overreaching wrestling fan. But I think overall, like I think a number of different personalities who were involved in the business and people, just fans in general, kind of had like the same sentiments. But let's get into it. We started the night off with the Women's Royal Rumble.
I don't know if you can see here.
Um,
The stats are all here, which is pretty cool. Of number 1 to
mhm.
number 30, and how long they lasted.
I think did Charlotte have the longest time in the women's, or was it how long was Roxanne in there for?
uh 59 minutes was Charlotte Flair. Roxanne
hmm
Perez, I don't know what number she came in.
I think Roxanne was in the top
Yeah, she only stayed
10.
for 22 minutes. Tiffany,
Oh, okay. So I think
oh, it's not Tiffany Stratton. Sorry, give me a second.
Liv Morgan had the second longest time. I think.
Sol Ruka.
Oh,
Sol
JC
Ruka,
Jane.
15 minutes.
Oh, Sol Roka. Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Sol Roka had the second longest time,
Sorry, let me try to
and
zoom in this
followed.
list for everyone here on the stream. Okay. Let's go all the way up here. All right, so if everyone can see the list here, this bottom gray thing is just WWE's website. So let's start with women's first. Honestly, the women's match was good. There was a lot of back and forth. This is probably, and I understand it's Saudi Arabia. I feel like a lot of the crowd wasn't behind it until stars like Rhea Ripley came out, which is kind of unfortunate. Um, because I thought
It,
they did the perfect mix of legends, new stars, and present stars.
I think there were some predictable elements too that the crowd wasn't really into, like having Charlotte and Alexa starting off the Rumble.
Mhm.
And like I think again there was like the tease and like the potential of like what could happen here and stuff like that, but also the predictable like as soon as Charlotte was like named number one, it was just like okay, so Alexa's coming out
Uh,
like because that's like the only thing that makes sense, and they did that and they kind of did like the whole thing of like teasing, turning on each other, but kind of working together. And so at that point, I was just like, okay, so one of them is going to eliminate the other one accidentally, and that's also going to like lead into stuff, which is exactly what happened.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just think that I think more or less like the crowd just wasn't into just like the lack of activity between the two of them. It was just kind of like, oh, here's a tease, and then we kind of do whatever.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that was kind of confusing. The Charlotte and Becky Lynch confrontation was kind of cool, and I think there was a little bit of buzz generated around that. I think my favorite aspect of it was Sol Ruka. It was I don't think it was her
Yes.
first
I think it was her
Rumble, but
second Rumble, yeah.
I think it was her second Rumble, but she did incredible. She came in number 10. She ended up being in the top three.
Mm.
Lasted almost like had like a lot of really cool moments. Like really felt like she gelled it along with a lot of the women that were in there.
Yeah.
Lash Legend also had a very impressive performance in the Rumble too, but the crowd was not into that at all.
She was eliminating
Uh,
everyone's favorites.
yeah, which I mean, I'm a Lash Legend fan, so like people want to say that she's overrated. It's just like, all right, well, f you guys, I don't care.
Just building new stars. It
um,
was good. It was like it was a good sign. Whoop that
yeah,
trick chain was funny though.
yeah. So Natty debuted her
Oh
like
yeah, her.
part persona in the Rumble. I went after Maxine, and I think she eliminated Becky Lynch as well. She did. So I'm super into the Natty Neidhart stuff. So like I was just like really excited to kind of see how like she would look and how I guess like her in ring work and psychology would change from the Natalia character. And honestly, she I liked it. I liked it. I am a fan of where this could go. There's like this like newfound intensity with Natty and the way that she carries herself in the ring with this character that we didn't really get with Natalia. Like whereas like I felt like Natalia was kind of like the wrestling imperious slash like I guess like nice girl persona in a sense where she really need to be, whereas like Natty is just like no nonsense and it's just like, yeah, I know I'm the best. So now I'm just gonna show you why kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I felt like he kind of translated with the way that she was working in the ring. So I was a fan. Um Jordan Grace was in there. There was a lot of other names that I was kind of like I think in the group chat, I think like 2 seconds and I was just like, yeah, I'm not a fan of this Rumble. You guys were just like, God, bro, it's only been
Oh,
like five
forgot about
people.
that. Yeah, yeah.
um,
Yeah,
but
because the first
yeah,
five was Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Kiana James, Nia Jax, Ivy Nile,
yeah, like I was
Levice.
just like, all right, cool. I'm kind of over it. When Liv and the Judgment Day got in there, they did the stuff with that. That was pretty cool. I think one of my favorite moments from that Rumble, honestly, and it's probably not on anyone's radar, but it was when Kairi Sane came in and then she accidentally eliminated Asuka. um, and like just that whole interaction was just like great because Asuka's like yelling Kyrie has been like one of my favorite like things that she's been doing for like the last few months. So just seeing Kyrie's like reaction of like, oh shit, I effed up, and just like panning the camera over to Io, who was just kind of like, oh shit, like,
I know.
like,
She's like, it's like not my problem.
yeah, I just found it to be very funny. Aside from all like the small stuff there, we had some surprises. JC Jane, Kalani Jordan, Sol Ruka. I think
uh,
were the notable NXT participants. Is Lola Vice.
yeah.
Yeah, we're like the notable NXT performances that were in there. That was cool. At the end of it, we came down to a returning Tiffany Stratton, who was number 30. Got a huge reaction.
And
Um,
29 was huge too. It was Brie Bella.
Brie Bella, yes, Brie Bella made her return too, which
The crowd
that was
was
unexpected too. Actually,
cracked.
I got cracked too. I got cracked too because I wasn't expecting Brie Bella to come back. I didn't think that. I know that she's talked about on her podcast that like she would entertain a return and how it would look like, what it means. So like the fact that she actually did return, would definitely generated a moment.
Mm.
Nikki's still better though, full transparency. But Brie coming back was pretty cool. Tiffany Stratton coming back was also really good, but with that came with disappointment because I had talked about this last week on the podcast about who I had predicted to win, or at least one of my predictions. The actual winner was one of my predictions, but I was hoping and really going off of the fact that Bianca Belair was going to
Yes.
return, and she did not, which now leaves me with a crap little worry because where the hell is this girl?
Yeah. 'Cause that'd be the perfect
Um,
time to join. But like, I
yeah,
don't know.
so, and I don't think it's like a matter of like, oh, well, we have nothing for her because like that is the match to go for. So the fact that like she didn't come back there is like really making me concerned. So like, okay, like where is she in her recovery process? Like, what is going on?
Is your finger
Like,
really that bad though? Like it's a finger, you know? You
it's
could just like tape it up like that and just keep it going, you know?
So the problem is, based off of what I think is the issue, and I think from what she's talked about in like previous podcasts, is that like it all depends on how it heals. Realistically, generally, like with broken fingers, like yeah, it is something that doesn't typically take long. But the issue is that like if the scar tissue and the bones don't heal properly, and I think with her, she said that the issue is that she can't straighten her fingers at all. So like if she whacks them in any which way, she's just gonna re-break them again, and then like she's gonna be right back on the shelf. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on with it, but considering that it's been almost a year since she suffered that injury, and she's still dealing with issues. That's a cause for concern in my mind, and I don't know where they're at with that. But in any case, Bianca Belair did not return. The final two were to Liv Morgan and Tiffany Stratton, and Liv Morgan hit Tiffany Stratton with an Oblivion off of the apron to win the women's Royal Rumble. Much deserved win. I don't
Yeah,
think anybody had any issue with the fact that she won the Royal Rumble. She has been grinding for years, absolutely for years. She's already been one of the top women's wrestlers on her respective roster, and I think the Royal Rumble just like solidified like all the work that she has put in.
yeah,
Um, there are videos that will probably be on the new season of Unreal whenever they get to that point, where she was very much in character for a lot of it, but as soon as the cameras went off, she broke down and cried while she was walking to the back.
yeah,
So I don't think the moment has been lost on her. I think she realizes like one, like this is huge, but two, like really taking in like damn, like I'm at this level now, like, and it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see because she's definitely gone through a lot of different character changes, a lot of different things that kind of worked and didn't work. And um, one thing that I will kind of like, and I think we'll kind of get into it more with the Great Assault, is just like seeing the development of a lot of the people, especially involved in the Judgment Day. But seeing Liv Morgan's progress has been incredible to see, and I'm very excited to see her in the main event's women's spot. So huge congratulations to her. Very happy that she won the Royal Rumble. Very happy and proud of Sol Ruka for putting on such a fantastic performance. Hopefully see her on the main roster soon because I have an issue when I see finishers that seem very impractical to perform in the ring.
yeah.
But damn, that Soul Snatcher is still so cool to see.
I know.
Yeah, huge win for Liv Morgan, and that was the women's rumble.
I
We
think the
go on to the
biggest
next
moment,
match.
sorry, the biggest moment I
Oh,
think of that is that she eliminated Raquel, which would be continued on
mm-hmm,
Monday Night Raw as well. But
mm-hmm,
this was the most expected result. I feel like all the results that happened were the most expected.
mm-hmm.
She was the favorite from a long time. She was the returning wrestler since November, and she pulls it off. And sorry, as you were saying, the next one was Gunther versus AJ Styles, as
Good versus
we
AJ.
assumed at the end of AJ Styles' contract with WWE. It was a good spirited affair back and forth. Gunther does put AJ Styles in a submission and makes him pass out. That's the end. The crowd is absolutely stunned, bro, but we are not.
Sick.
We already knew it was going to happen. Good for Gunther. Obviously, if these wrestlers want to put him over, they are. I still feel like they're going to return like and do their whole Hall of Fame events and stuff, and that's when we'll get like their last say, but right now, Gunther's creating this career killer persona, but yeah, decent match. It's just what it was.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The other one, Undisputed Championship, Drew versus Sammy. Very basic, I think. Very vanilla, as
Yeah,
they would say. It was just a
this match was mid.
straightforward SmackDown match, really.
Yeah,
And
this match was very mid.
to our surprise, Drew absolute beat the hell out of him. And he just kept claymoring him. He'd get up, Claymore, and he finished him 1, 2, 3. He dominated. And Sami Habibi, he's gone. He's done. I don't
Well,
know. I don't know what you think about that. I don't know if there's like an opinion to that or
I'm happy McIntyre won. That's all I got to say about that. Honestly, like I feel like I would have more of an opinion if there was more consistent direction with Sami Zayn's booking, but there
yeah,
hasn't been. So
yeah,
I feel that this match went exactly how it should have went, based off of the
the
how
way he's
much
booked.
inconsistency they had with Sami Zayn's character. If they were building this whole underdog story since WrestleMania, and like he was legitimately seen as like someone who actually had a chance to win and lead us into WrestleMania, then I probably would have been more upset. But like it's been very up and down with how it's like they kind of forget about Sammy for a few months, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, like he can do this all of a sudden. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still not over the fact that like he actively chose to not go to SmackDown and get a championship match all the way because he wanted to feud with Division, only for him to be traded to SmackDown like a month later and challenge for a mid title when he said he was very much just focused on the World Championship. So like that to me, I think just kills his entire momentum.
Yeah.
Right. Although like his United States Championship win did start the precedent of having banger US title matches, and I feel like they have not missed on that kind of that level since then.
Yeah.
I feel that like that decision kind of just like killed the momentum that Sami Zayn had, because then that led to him like feeding with the MFTs that kind of like went to nowhere, and then he just kind of just was just showing up in like a plaid shirt every week.
Yeah.
So, and like again, I'm a huge fan of Sami Zayn, but like I just feel like they kind of just sort of dropped it with him on that one. So I'm not really mad about it. I'm not really phased about it. I'm happy Drew McIntyre is still champion because I want him to be champion going into WrestleMania, because I think that's something that he has deserved since he re-signed with WWE like what 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm happy that they're kind of leaning towards that. Where they go to, we'll see.
Yeah, I know it's
But
really up in the air, but it's probably a
it's
couple
yeah,
predictions with the way the
yeah.
Royal
There's a
Rumble
few
goes.
predictions. There are ways that I would like to see things happen. There's a match that I feel like I know what they're going to do, and
Yeah.
it's not what they have projected was going to be the direction. So but we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Okay.
So now let's go to the men's Royal Rumble.
So we were already on SmackDown by accident. They spoiled number one was supposed to be Braun Breaker. Um, it was just weird because by accident showcased the bottom and said number one Braun Breaker. They kind of swerved it and they changed it and said that in the night that he's going to be number two. Number one turns out to be Obafemi. The crowd was absolutely insane when he comes out. They all start chanting Oba like they chant Goldberg. They're doing the whole ooh thing. He looks like a superstar, man. He looks like $1,000,000. We
Yep,
already saw that. We already
yep,
believed in that.
yep,
I
yep.
loved it. That's honestly what WWE should have been doing for a long time. This is the time to build younger stars, introduce them in this way. That's why I thought the Rumbles they weren't the worst. The rest of it was bad, but like this not bad, but like missed the spot,
the,
I guess.
the rest of it was trash, but this was great.
But this was great. Braun Breaker comes out. This is where it just gets 50-50. He gets jumped right off the bat, doesn't even get to fight Obafemi. He gets stopped by a mystery person that's clearly not Seth Rollins. It looked like Jake Paul or freaking what's his name? Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller is what I've been hearing as
Yeah.
well too.
Gets thrown in the ring, gets tossed out. That's the end. They have a little summary here, which is pretty cool. So that was number two. Femi eliminated Rusev number five. Number three, Solo Sikoa. Solo was pretty cool coming out, but he got eliminated pretty quick. Rey Mysterio as number four. He hits a 619, but Femi was unfazed, which is the way they should book. Matt Cardona comes out at six, and he gets eliminated by Obafemi, which is a good thing. Obafemi was booked strong, but at the same time, I feel
Very
like
strong.
some of these spots were kind of a waste. Like Rusev, we haven't seen in
Yes.
forever. Like, why is he still even employed? Solo, it was worth putting him in there, but he's now starting to look like a jobber. Rey Mysterio is what it is. He's a legend. He's doing what he needs to be doing. Matt Cardona, why'd you bring him back if you're just going to job him out? Just like little things like that. Javon Evans,
Yeah.
number 8, got bouncy, taking out Damian Priest. Number 7, and Femi with his high flying skills. Grande Americano, number 12, and original. Oh, that's it. So Grande Americano comes out. An original Grande Americana comes out. I thought that was cool. A lot of people didn't like it. They thought it was a waste of his spot. And on top of that, I didn't feel the crowd was behind it. Unfortunately,
They weren't. So this is where my issue with the men's Royal Rumble. I think they did a lot of cool things. I just don't think they read the room. The Saudi Arabia crowd, although they're a lot more receptive to the newer stars now, as opposed to like when they first started, when they're like, we need to see all the big time people. We need to see Randy. We need to see Rock. We need to see Lesnar and stuff like that. And obviously, they got the loudest pops of the night. But I feel like there were a lot of entrants that were in there that their entrances in there were squandered on the Rumble. And it didn't hit as well as it should have. So the Grande Americano stuff was one of those things because I'm excited that Chad Gable's back, but as you see on Monday Night Raw, his reception on Raw was a
It was
lot
huge.
better.
Yeah, it was huge.
So like I honestly felt like that was something that they should have saved for that. Um, the other thing too that was the debut of Powerhouse Hobbs, aka Royce Keys. This one bothered me a lot.
Really?
This one bothered me a lot. Yeah, because my justification is great. He's in WWE now. He's made the jump. He has crossed the line. The doing a debut with a Saudi Arabian crowd is so it's very wishy-washy. And my criticism is that you did this debut for two reasons. And both of them aren't really good. So reason number one is that you are assuming that the Saudi Arabia crowd are watching your competition's products, which I don't know is something that you should be going into.
Yeah.
But like, if you're expecting him to get a reception, you are also expecting that Saudi Arabia watches AEW, which is not the mindset that I feel you should be having going into this.
Yeah.
There were some AEW chants. There weren't a lot. So I guess that kind of goes to show like how much people really do watch AEW because they weren't really hyped for him being there in the first place.
Yeah.
Which I guess is a good thing. But two, if that falls flat, then you're just serving him up to not really make an impact. And seeing what he did in the Rumble, he didn't do anything really remarkable. He didn't really set up anything for me that would make you say like, "Oh, Powerhouse Hobbs is here and he's gonna go after that person." I think he eliminated Damian Priest, so I guess that's gonna be something maybe that will probably be his first feud. I think that would be a fair first feud to go with.
I'll
Um,
check here. He came
but
in at number. Does it say Royce Keys? He came out number 14, eliminated Damian Priest, lasted 9 minutes and 55 seconds, and got eliminated by Bronson Reed.
yeah, so I just kind of felt like that was squandered. One of my biggest criticisms of that Rumble was having Brock Lesnar getting eliminated during Jey Uso's entrance.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's go.
Um,
Let's go in order. Let's go in order a little bit. One, Matt's
yeah.
Matt's in the chat. He says, "Where's the TNA Thursday live stream?" Don't know what that is. And Saudi watches money. Yeah, I guess it's true. So like as we said, we did the beginning. The Grande Americanos came out. They got eliminated by Trick Williams. Trick Williams did get a huge pop. I'm glad because they showcased him as a star. He's been showcased the last couple weeks. This Rumble, he wasn't like the biggest eventer, I guess. He got eliminated within 6 minutes and 19 seconds, aka 619, which is kind of sad. I expected a better outing from Trick Williams. Other surprise entrance was Mr. Iguana. That fell really flat. He only lasted 2 minutes. I say that's a waste of a pick. The Grande Americanos came out. Royce Keys comes out. Austin Theory. I didn't feel like they had a reception, or they did. Actually, they did. They were cheering for Austin Theory a lot, which was surprising. In the United States is really flat. That's what happened on Raw. He was very quiet. Bronson Reed comes out, did his thing. They both lost 10 to 9 minutes, which is okay, I guess. Ilya Dragunov comes out, 11 minutes. La Parka also seemed like a waste, 4 minutes. Didn't seem like a huge pop. Dragon Lee only lasted 3 minutes. Again, I feel like another waste of a pick. Logan Paul, out of all people, last 25 minutes and 7 seconds.
Oh, they love Logan Paul.
LA Knight got a huge pop. People were so behind him, and I actually thought, hey, maybe this guy is it. Maybe he'll end up winning. He does only last 14 minutes. He eliminated Theory, Bronson Reed, and Brock Lesnar. Speaking about Brock Lesnar, comes out next. He just wrecks house. He takes a bunch of shots of Ilya Dragunov. No sells, laughs, chucks him. Eliminates Rey Fenix. Waste of a spot. Him and Obafemi kept trying to get their spot in, and they kept teasing, which started getting annoying because like it was just dragging out Triple H fashion. And then they both got their licks in, and then Brock Lesnar eliminated Obafemi, which is like, okay, cool. This is gonna set up something, and Brock is gonna continue to be dominant because there's so many people in the ring. Last 5 minutes, The Miz comes out, waste of a spot, gets eliminated quick. Rey Fenix is only in the ring for 28 seconds and got eliminated by Brock. And that's when Jey Uso comes out. He's heating, takes forever. Brock Lesnar, as you stated, gets eliminated within 5 minutes in the Royal Rumble by Cody Rhodes and LA Knight for no damn reason, bro. Wait, it was Cody Rhodes, right? Or did he come in?
Yes,
Or
it
he
was
came in
Cody Rhodes.
11.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Yeah, it was Cody Rhodes.
Eliminated Braun, justice for Finn. Yes, exactly. Finn Balor was a huge thing they left out of the Royal Rumble. Yeah, that one, I think that's where I left a little sour taste in my mouth. And I'm like, especially if you're in Saudi and Brock Lesnar is the one who destroyed John Cena's retirement tour. He's still being touted as this monster, and he's going to be his final year. If you really want him to face like a Gunther or a Obafemi, like build him strong so he can put the kids over, you know. But yeah, very sad. I didn't like it. What do you think, Derek? Before we move on to the next one.
There wasn't a lot of stuff from the Rumble that I was really hyped about. So, but yeah, I thought it was dumb. Like, I don't know if it was just like a matter of like, yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know. Maybe Brock just said like, just take me home. like,
He
like
got his buddy. He's like, yeah, finish with this,
I
bro.
did, I did what I needed to. Just take me home at this point. But yeah, again, just a lot of really confusing spots. Was LA Knight eliminated at this point too?
No, I don't think so. Not yet. Anyway,
Okay.
it was near the
Okay.
end
Well,
because LA Knight eliminated Brock Lesnar with Cody
right.
Rhodes. Matt says
Right.
apparently he was shooting with Dragunov. See, I don't know. It just looked weird. He kept
I don't-
hitting. Well, Rumble's random, right? Like there's not really a lot of planned spots.
Yeah.
I didn't think it made Dragunov look strong. Did we talk about this stupendous 5K in attendance? Not yet. I think that's going to be one of our last things. Might be in your opinions or in the sheets because there's a lot of podcasts that talk about it and wrestlers talked about it too. Anyways, Jey Uso takes forever to get in the ring. When he finally gets in the ring, Roman Reigns comes out. He cuts that shit, and he confronts his cousin. He's like, "Let's run it back one more time," and he beats the hell out of him. People loved it. Thank God. He eliminates his cousin. He eliminates the Miz. He eliminates Jacob Fatu, which was surprising. He was the next pick afterwards. He was there for 9 minutes, did his thing, got eliminated. He eliminated Logan Paul. Thank God. And then Gunther at the end. Penta came in for 6 minutes. Very sad. Randy Orton was the number 29, lasted 7 minutes, eliminated Mr. Bouncy, and gets eliminated by Gunther, who comes out 30. People were very disappointed online in the ring. The just air just disappeared in the arena. They're just like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
him.
I was talking to Albert about this in the chat too, because he was just like, I get why he came out last, and I was just like, I kind of don't, because they had already confirmed that he was going to be an entrant. And I feel like for Pop's sake, I think it should have been reversed. I think Gunther should have came out 29 and Randy should have came out 30.
Yeah,
But I think they did that last year.
yeah,
Don't quote me on that, but I think they did that last year. But like, I mean, he would have got the pop, right? So,
yeah.
I just felt like a very underwhelming, like 30th entrant, and obviously with like everyone thinking that Chris Jericho was going to show up,
Yeah,
me being one of those white ones, and like, yeah, that not happening. I think it just kind of deflated a lot of people. And I feel like at this point there were just like a lot of people in the ring, so like that was also kind of hard to sort of kind of get down to. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I felt like it's weird to be like, I don't think Gunther needed to be in the Rumble. I think that he should have just did like his match,
Hmm.
because like I don't think anybody else was double booked that night except for Gunther.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, nobody else was. Yeah, because AJ was obviously done. Sammy
Bye
was obviously
bye,
done.
Sammy Habibi. Honestly,
So
like
yeah,
maybe they should have saved Brock Lesnar for last one if he was gonna last 5 minutes there. At least keep Obafemi to the end of the Rumble. Then, because everyone's tired around them, they do face to face. They do their whole
yeah.
spots, and then Brock eliminates Obafemi at the end, and that would have set up whatever. And then Cody Rhodes can flip him over. It's fine, done. That would have been the end of the
My
night. It would have been easy.
yeah, my only thought as to why they did do it that way is because I think they figured that since Gunther is generating the most heat right now, Roman would have had the most shine eliminating him last.
Yeah,
So I'm thinking that's probably the only reason why they had him in there. But to me, it still felt like a waste because I wasn't really given, like, Gunther didn't give me any indication of what his WrestleMania plans are in that match,
yeah,
which I feel is what I usually get out of the Royal Rumble. It's like they tease a lot of things. They tease more of the, I guess, miscommunication / dissension between Cody and Randy with the missed Cody cutter that hit Randy. Um, But yeah, like I felt like Gunther didn't really play a role in that Rumble, aside from being the last guy eliminated. But I don't think anyone really expected Gunther to win that once he came out at number 30. Like I think at that point, everyone was just kind of like, okay, well, it's not going to be him. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah,
Matt says he's in
Cody
a
gets
car wash,
eliminated.
sorry, in the chat. That's
Yes, he
why he's
is.
here.
Cody gets eliminated because Drew McIntyre just kind of came in and kicked the crap out of him.
Which is good. That sets up something
Which is good.
WrestleMania sake. Jacob Fatu
Yeah.
also got involved with that. Little by little, people got eliminated. It was the last two, as we said. And Roman Reigns is the tribal chief. Everyone was very happy about that. I think it was a good choice. I think it was the safest choice, honestly, but it does build up a good story. People were upset that he was a part timer, that he wasn't here for a long time, but that's just his own thing. So yeah, I think it's the proper endings, the right choice. As you were talking about Gunther, I just feel like yeah, he's a big heel, but now it's just kind of like becoming too much. Like it's just boring at this point. He's getting over
Uh,
pushed, and people don't like that either. They don't like being force fed something. Like okay, yeah, we understand. Like he's a villain or whatever, but I don't want to see the Joker on every movie in Batman. Eventually, I'm gonna get bored. I need other villains, bro. I need other stories. He's already showcased his thing. Okay, let me boo him earlier in the night, or maybe later in the night if you don't have that retirement match. But I'm like, okay, we're over it. And that's how Royal Rumble felt, as Matt was saying here in the chat. The lighting in the stadium, they're like all over the stairs and stuff. It made like the way to describe it is just like it made everything in the background go away. It was like brightening the screen. I don't know how to describe it. Like if you what's the word I'm looking for? If you highlight the like dark corners of the arena, you'll see the people, but then the light would be just too bright for a TV screen to take in, right? So I think the whole light situation made it really bad. The wrestlers talked about it. Logan Paul had a podcast about it. He said that the arena was packed. It was full. People were filming too. And it was just the lights that just ruined it. And WWE might not continue with that again. I know SmackDown they had less people because apparently the resales were really high, and I think you were the one who mentioned it too, Derek.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the resale market has hit Saudi Arabia, and I think they might have had potentially had the same issue at Rumble as well.
Mm.
So resale culture is worldwide.
I think I found
But
the word the contrast. It was too bright in order to showcase the crowd,
mhm.
and they never do it again.
Yeah, but Roman won, and I'm happy with that.
Mm. Also, another shout out. The stage was really cool. It was finally a huge stage. It looked like the city that was in the background, like the little buildings and stuff. It was really cool. They only do special event stages now for Saudi Arabia, confirmed. If not, you're gonna get a little stage or whatever the hallway thing they've been doing now. God damn it, I missed the
Mm.
Titantron. Anyways, that was Royal Rumble. Done. Which leads us to Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, I felt pick up the pace. It felt like an actual Monday Night Raw on the road to WrestleMania. Thank God. The night starts out with Braun Breaker absolutely losing his shit like he's supposed to. He destroys the arena. He scares the announcers away, flips everything. Not even the Vision can control him. And that's when Adam Pearce comes out and he's like, "Oh, I told you you're going to be in the Rumble. I didn't tell you what number you were going to get until you picked it or whatever." So he was very upset that he thinks that Adam Pearce knew who the attacker was, but he didn't, and he pretty much kicked him out of the arena. LA Knight does attack the Vision and then runs away. Javon Evans becomes Senor Bouncy again. He takes on El Grande Americano. The real Grande Americano comes out, and this is when the huge pop for Chad Gable. It was huge. People were finally behind the storyline. Hopefully, it's going to be a huge event at WrestleMania. Javon Evans takes advantage, wins the match. Backstage, Finn Balor addresses his attack on CM Punk. He says that he needs this championship more than anything, and he was very upset that he wasn't a part of the Rumble. I think it's just a little BS that he wasn't even there. Gunther Gunther comes out to AJ Styles' theme song. It was freaking huge. It was everyone popped. It was just him, and even he came in. He's like, "Oh." It was huge. I forgot Dragon Lee was his tag team partner. He comes out, he attacks Gunther, but he gets choked out. You stiff, you like. So I think it was a cool showcase that Gunther can still, wrestle young people and the old people. There it is, getting choked out. Matt says, I missed it, but they changed him to entrant too because they spoiled on SmackDown. Yes, yeah. We did mention that.
Yes.
Yeah. Triple H is in the chat.
Oh,
It's
Triple
good,
H is in it.
Kings. It's good, Triple H. Oh my god. Appreciate the hype. It's not popping up here, so I'll do it for you. I forgot we even have the bot. The real Triple H, of course, not Triple Habibi. What else happened here? Oh, another huge surprise and continuing on developing new wrestlers and stories to Road to WrestleMania. The War Raiders return to Matt's dismay, of course. But Obafemi saves the day. He comes out, obliterates them. I don't even care if they're ruining the tag teams, bro. F them tag teams. He showcased them, and it was lit. I don't know what to tell you. My king, no. That's good. I skipped it. What do you think, Derek?
I'm happy Obafemi's there. I thought that was cool. Did we have to sacrifice the Raw Raiders to get him there? I don't know, but they did.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I mean, look, like your tag team division is already struggling. This doesn't help, but you know.
But they're trying to build
This is
Obafemi
cool.
like a Brock Lesnar level. You can take out anybody or anything.
And Brock did the exact same thing when he debuted. Like he went out to the tag teams and like he was just showing how dominant he was. Just like taking out like multiple people at once because he was so big and strong and
That's
burly.
going off in the chat right now. He's like, my king, Obafemi. I love him. Damn, I gotta not skip War Raiders now. He didn't know this happened. That's hilarious. Yeah.
That's fun. That's why you can't skip.
Yeah, that was really good. It was honestly for me, it was a good showcase of his power, but I don't give a shit about the War Raiders. I'm sorry. It's just like you can build the other tag teams. I'm interested in that. I just don't care about the War Raiders. They seem like a Vince kind of booking, and honestly, it worked out for me. What didn't work out?
Champions again?
Oh,
the Usos. Right.
Which came out of the backstage segment. Jimmy Uso came back and he said something with God on his shirt. So hopefully he's all right with his kid. Brie Bella and had returned. She went on the mic talking to her twin. They said they're going to go for the tag team titles. Honestly, the women's division's on fire. The tag team women's division's on fire. So this is not a bad thing. I personally do not like the Bellas. Never really have. I was never a fan of them, but I feel like this is pretty huge and keep it going, I guess. They're probably it's like a namesake to the two legends versus Io and Rhea, which is, you booked probably well at WrestleMania. Matt says, did Trish show up during the Natty segment? The Bellas are ass and boring trash. Matt's opinion, which, I kind of follow. Derek, do you have anything to add to this? And no, I didn't see Trish.
No, Trish wasn't there. And also, yeah, I don't really care for her. It's so weird that they kind of just like changed like Nikki's direction. But oh well, whatever. Another tag team has entered the fray.
I think they're still gonna be heels. Just like a tweener, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
Penta defeats Bronson Reed by count out. This was a pretty good match because they went backstage. Braun Breaker was pissed. He's like, I want a match with LA Knight. I want him now. And he's like, I can't do that because I kicked out LA Knight and you can go get lost too. So the rest of the division stayed and they were going to try to take out Penta, but LA Knight did not leave. He did attack the rest of them. I don't know what they're going to leave in that storyline, but it was pretty cool for my book. Penta does end up winning the match. And this was huge. So Liv Morgan comes out with Dirty Dom, who returns. She tells the world that she deserves it. She's going to push for one of the championships, but her best friend Raquel Rodriguez is going to win the championship that same night, and all the titles are going to go to the Judgment Day. Raquel comes out, but she comes out very angry. She says that she's happy for her sister, but why the hell did she eliminate her? She was very upset about that, and she's like, "Oh, it's because I'll go for the WWE title, you go for the world title, and we're all happy or whatever." And she's like, "No, and we're gonna discuss about it later. And also, I don't want you here." And then Liv was like, "What?" And she's like, "Because of course, I want to do it myself." And they're like, "Okay, do what you gotta do." Matt says, "I got a quick fire flop or not?" I wish our city's just trash. Oh, because we're talking about the car wash. All right, Matt, let us know in the chat. And yeah, there was a Philadelphia street fight because we're in Philadelphia. Stephanie Vaquer defeats Raquel Rodriguez in a, honestly, which is kind of sad, a very floppy, a botchy, and kind of boring match. It wasn't like very impactful. I felt like these two women, they could create magic, but the hits were just like boop, and they were very slow, sluggish. Wasn't like the crowd were behind it. I was struggling to get behind it, and at the end, I think Raquel just misses the table completely. Then she hits the finisher. That was the end of the night. Oh no, sorry, Liv Morgan tried to interfere. She costs her the match. So yeah, Judgment Day is teasing another breakup. Do you have anything else to add to that?
No. No. It was, but Liv Morgan came in and like laid out Stephanie Vicker afterwards, so that was cool. But I have nothing to add to that. Let's go to the main event segment.
Okay, quickly in the chat. We're talking about the car wash still. Triple H says it's time to move. The flop or not for Matt is it time to is it time to split like the men's tag division, like unified instead of split it? Because they said kind of like the women's division, they just have enough tag
Have like
teams to
one
have
set of
one
tag
belt.
team titles for both shows.
Yeah.
Um, like I feel that if you're not going to use your tag, like I think we're gonna run into the same problem regardless of whether or not you split them or keep them apart, because they have the tag teams. Like the tag teams are there. It's just that they're not being featured on the show. Like they really only have space for like maybe like one tag team or two tag teams per show, if that. And what you do is you end up having like these like backstage like commercial break segments to kind of keep them on TV to an extent. But I feel like even if you do unify the titles, it's like, all right, cool. So now you're only gonna have like one segment planned for like a tag team, and the other guys are just going to be like waiting and catering until they get popped up. Like if they're not getting the exposure on television, regardless if it's for the belts or not, like we're not going to care when they come back up. So like you would hope that having the belts there would generate more of an opportunity for them to be featured as much. But like you're getting like you got the MFTs and like the Wyatts feuding on SmackDown. Um, the Usos are gonna kind of start doing their feuds, what they did like the triple threat or fatal four, whatever the tag team match was, to determine what the number one contenders were. So like they're at least getting that time, but like I feel like if you just have one belt, like that limits like who actually gets showcased
Yeah.
on television. So I kind of feel like you do need the belts, but I just feel like there's just like a lot of belts that are flying around. Like I don't know if having the mid card women's belts are a good idea at this point. The division was there, but like the biggest thing is again is like how are you utilizing the time that you have to be able to showcase them? And if you don't have the time to utilize them, then why do you have them there in the first place? Because now you're running into this problem where it's like you don't have people to like Jade Cargill hasn't defended her belt yet. She's been champion since what, November?
Yes.
Right? And it's like you have Julia, who's the United States champion. You have Chelsea Green. You have Mia Yim. You have BFAB. You have Charlotte. You have um, Alexa Bliss. And this is a good example. Like you do have a unified tag team title belt on the women's side, but none of these women are doing anything besides like kind of like teetering around this whole idea of like, oh, maybe it'll be my shot, maybe it'll be my shot, maybe it won't be, kind of thing. But like these women could be doing something else more productive, especially when other divisions aren't getting the attention that they should be getting, kind of thing. So I feel like unifying it isn't really gonna change the problem. Like if you didn't have the talent, then I could understand that. But the talent is there; they're just not being shown
Yeah.
because they're not being. Yeah.
Like,
So
where's the Bang Bang
I don't.
Brothers,
I don't
bro?
think.
Where's the
Yeah.
machine guns, bro? They're at AAA with Garzas, they have a lot of tag teams. They're just not showcasing, as Derek says. I think SmackDown is improving in that aspect because they added the extra hour. I think Raw has no excuse of not having 3 hours and cutting it at 2 hours and 10 minutes because you guys are live on Netflix. You can make it as long as possible. What are you guys doing with your time? So I don't believe they should unify them again because we're going to have the same problem where eventually Triple H is going to remember that he has a tag team division. He's going to start booking them, and he's like, "Oh, we have too many tag teams. We need to split it." And then the fans online are going to do the same thing. So, yeah, I think they should keep them separate and start utilizing their time more. I just feel like they have the problem where they only focus on one thing at a time. Like, just you have enough people or get more writers, separate and like, this is my tag team writers, this is my singles mid card writers, this is the main event writers, and I'm as Triple H and like whoever, I'm gonna be the final say and say, yeah, let's go through with that. Here's my ideas. But what do I know? Apparently, I'm not a booker, even though I get all the predictions correct. Anyway, because like look now the women's division titles are on fire, but now they left everything on the wayside, so it's just like they focus on one thing at a time. Anyways, appreciate that. Triple H says, oh, he should move to Bogota. We are not from Bogota, we're from Medellin, of course. But yeah, Colombia is a good shout though. I know you've been loving your travels there as well. And at the end, this is it. This is what moves the needle. This is what made Raw go over. All right. I know we joked about it because CM Punk talked about it when he was in AEW that he's the needle mover or whatever. And then Roman the week after comes with the needle mover t-shirt. But they're true. These two men, as much as Matt hates CM Punk, he's not washed, bro. People are super behind this guy. People are behind Roman. And I know you hate CM Punk. He absolutely cooked him on the mic at the beginning. Wrecked him, bro. And he did straight facts until he started mumbling in the middle. And then Roman finished the promo strong. He actually finished
This
strong at the
was
end.
legitimately probably the best Roman promo that I have seen him cut,
Mm,
probably since he's been champion. This promo was fantastic. Like, I think a lot of people have felt the same way, but like, if there was any reservation as to why these two should be main eventing WrestleMania, that promo right there did it for me.
yeah.
I rewatched this promo 5 times. It was fantastic. Start to finish, it was fantastic. Um, like CM Punk got his digs in, talking about how he brought Roman in the first place. That like, okay, like you kind of followed my blueprint because I was champion for however long. I had Paul Heyman on my corner. You were champion for this long with Paul Heyman in your corner. Like, just because you did it longer doesn't mean you did it better than I did. And if you look at the facts, like Punk had a lot more title defenses than Roman did at his time as champion. But also, like, as memorable as CM Punk's title reign was for me watching it, Roman Reigns is still like one of the most generational title runs for me, just because not just because of longevity, but the stories we got out of that title reign were insane. Right, like his run as champion was able to make Jey Uso a main eventer. It was able to make Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn main eventers. It was able to give us like some great classics with John Cena, with Edge, with Daniel Bryan, with Brock Lesnar. It was able to redeem the Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns rivalry. It was able to give us two back-to-back WrestleManias that got better. It was able to bring The Rock out into the fold, which is something that we probably never thought we would see, and now John Cena wants to see it all. Not John Cena. Now Johnny wants to see it all the time. Um, his title reign, I think, did more for moving the needle than CM Punk's was, because if we look at it from CM Punk's perspective, at the time he was champion, although it was something that the crowd wanted to see and wanted to get behind, Punk didn't, like, his title reign, he barely main evented shows. He didn't start main eventing any shows as WWE champion until John Cena got involved. Which was like, I think when he first started, like when he won the title, I think when he won the title off of Roberto Del Rio, that wasn't a main event. I think he main evented the TLC afterwards because he had a triple threat with. Actually, I don't even think he main evented that one. I think John Cena main evented. So like he didn't actually main event any shows as champion until he turned and started working with John. And then after that, that's when he started main eventing Triple H. I appreciate the shout out for my shirt.
Good shirt.
But as memorable as it was for the time, and like I felt like WWE was kind of iffy at some points because they were very much like John focused. Yeah, Roman Reigns' title reign definitely spoke volumes, but it's CM Punk making the comment that like he did it better. That again that he brought Roman into the fold in the first place, and Roman just fires back, tells him that he like again like he is a needle mover, that he um doesn't like CM Punk more or less, that like he tried to brainwash his cousins, he almost brainwashed him. Like he came into like he took his wise man, he came into war games that shook his hand like a man.
Like a man.
And when he said this line specifically, and he said like, "I shook your man as a hand." Well, what were we like, zebras or some stupid shit like that? And as soon as he went off like that, I was just like, "Oh, this guy's in his bag.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's in his bag."
Yeah. Roman started swearing. I don't think we've heard shit on WWE in a long time. It was really
in a long
good.
time.
And
But then Roman
just a
goes on
passion,
that
bro.
references the fact that like you're the guy who went on your best friend's podcast 10 years ago and started talking ish and made my life way harder than it needed to be. And now you're out here like working in the company that I basically carried on my back. And like, who do you think they asked to bring you back into the fold in the first place? And the only reason why you're here is because I let you back in here. And then he ends off with saying that like, I could choose you because you're the box office guy, I could choose you because you're like the best out here, but I'm only going to choose you because I hate you, and I need to do this so that you out of all people will acknowledge me. And
Drop the
saying that
mic.
was just like, yep, like that's it, like that's it,
It's main event.
that's it,
It's night 2.
that's
Honestly,
it.
I'm very
Because
excited for the build, but even if this was just only the build, bro, that's box office sensation
that's
right there.
box
That's
office.
passion,
And
bro.
it's passion, and there's a lot of reality to it, because you have to understand that like, although it's not the main reason, a lot of what Roman Reigns dealt with becoming the guy in WWE arguably was sparked off of that podcast.
Okay.
The amount that not necessarily CM Punk like threw shade at Roman Reigns, because he didn't throw shade at him specifically, but he just threw shade over the fact that Roman wasn't a guy, but they were very much really trying to push him to be the guy when he wasn't at that point yet. And I think when people heard that, that's when people were like seeing like, all right, well, yeah, like they're shoving Roman Reigns down our throats. And they were seeing how green he was at that point, and seeing how corporately created he was becoming, and how inauthentic he was. Because like when he was a part of the Shield, people loved him,
Yeah.
right? But like when the WWE was very much like centered around like, here's the guy that you're supposed to like, people were against it, and it kind of sparked from the fact that like Punk said like, yeah, like he's not really that guy like that, right? So in a lot of ways, what Roman was saying was complete fact. Like he made his life harder. Like he had to grind for years and years and years, go through a number of different color contacts, go through a number of insufferable promos, go through a number of questionable booking decisions, just so that he could get to a point where he said like, nah, like I'm doing this my way or I'm out. And once he was able to really take charge of who he was and what his character was, he was able to show everybody exactly why they chose him in the first place. And through all of that, Punk left WWE, tried to do his thing in UFC, it didn't work, left the wrestling world altogether, comes back as a personality on a TV show that was adjacent to WWE, eventually makes his in-ring return in AEW, doesn't really work out there, and then comes back to the company that he basically buried on that podcast with the guy that he no longer speaks to. And it really comes full circle, and you can look at it and say like, okay, well, I made those comments like 10 years ago. I'm a different guy now, but it's just like, you were wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you were wrong, because you left the WWE saying that you would never come back, that you were done with all of it, that you were done with it all, and now you understand why the system was what it was. And although you didn't really like who was in charge at the time, like the system's not that much different now than it was back then. The only difference now is that the guys are actually batting in your corner for once, as opposed to before where they weren't. If we're gonna keep a buck. CM Punk's still my guy, but Roman, this feud, this build to WrestleMania, if they keep it on course, I very much am interested. not really focusing on like the good guy versus bad guy, but looking at two idealisms of like, are you going to support the guy who has every right to be upset at Punk for making him grind even harder to be the guy? Or are you going to go with the cult favorite because like we were conditioned back in 2012 to cheer for this guy because he told us he was the best and he was able to do it better than everybody else was at that point in time? Um, in ring wise, like it's not something that I really care for. Although Punk has shown that he can still go,
Yeah.
he can't go to the best capacity whereas he was able to go like 13 years ago, but he can still go. But like the interest is there just solely off of the fact that like Roman hasn't been in a title match in 3 years.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of fatigue. Although when he lost the title, people were tired of him being champion because they felt like he kind of held them hostage. But Roman had said, once the tribal chief goes, y'all gonna be begging for me to come back. And I had to agree with him back then. Me and Albert had to agree with him back then. And now here we are 3 years later, and people want it now.
Mm,
And that one promo like has already set the pace so nicely, and
yeah.
I'm very much here for it.
Man in the comments was like, he's still talking his ish, bro. He says he couldn't go back then either. He freaking despises CM Punk. He says he can't wait till CM Punk says that to me at WrestleMania 50. Been talking shit on my friend's podcast. There's also a couple highlighted points here. Roman mentioned that because CM Punk mentioned that he's the one now as a fighting champion here every night, saying Roman Reigns is a part timer, which is a pretty good shout. And Roman at the same time saying that like I work on my own schedule right now, he's earned it, and the only reason CM Punk has been working every night is because he ran away, pretty much took his ball, went home the last 10 years, and now he's making it up for it. So it's good back and forth ideologies. As you guys were mentioning, this is more of a promo and character stuff, and sometimes it is what it is. The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't a wrestling perfection match in any other matches. It was just
Yeah.
two amazing characters fighting each other, and that's
Yep.
what I feel this is
Yep.
going to be. I still feel like because it's WrestleMania, Roman Reigns is going to condition himself to go this long match, and he's a slow wrestler anyway, so I think he will book it fine. It's just the way
Yeah.
CM Punk will wrestle. So it's going to be either two options. It's either going to be like a John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, which was very slow and boring, or it's going to be a Cody Rhodes versus John Cena at SummerSlam, which they were conditioned well, and it was a fun match. What are we going to get? I don't know. But honestly, if they keep hating on each other like this, people like the realism of like anger or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good
Yeah.
match. Honestly, it's WrestleMania worthy. It's the two ultimate needle movers, and here we are.
I
And that
think
is
it's already done well to hype up WrestleMania this year way better than they were able to last year. I remember I was watching, I think it's Santi's podcast in regards to like how he felt that like with last year's build with John Cena and Cody Rhodes, like he felt like Cena and Cody weren't really allowed to get at each other. And I think the reason being is because I think they were afraid that people were going to turn on Cody going into that feud, so they tried really hard to keep them apart. Where I don't think there's really that problem here. Maybe because like Roman's taking more ownership over how this thing goes potentially, or
mm,
maybe just because Triple H doesn't care. But regardless of what Roman says or does, like people are going to cheer for him, right? Like that's just, and if they don't cheer for him, like it's not a huge deal if they don't. Like if they want to turn it into a heel versus face, they can do that.
yeah.
But Roman's already proven that like he can do no wrong. Even as a heel, people are still chanting OTC and Tribal Chief and stuff. So like,
That's the other thing. Roman is like that's the way people describe it. This is not a face versus face. Because people are like, "Oh, this is the first face." Okay, couple things. One, this is the first face versus face in a long time because John Cena was a heel last year with Cody Rhodes, right?
right?
In this instance, Roman is more of a tweener. He's more of an anti-villain, which he's still like very much a villain. He hasn't changed his opinions or anything, or
No,
that his family's the
no,
best, which he did mention in the promo, that they're the ones that carry wrestling, that he's the man.
yeah,
He even talked in the podcast last week saying Triple H can't build, not you Triple H in the chat, Triple H in real life, Triple Habibi, that he can't build new stars and they always have to come back to Roman, which happened. So he's still this villain that people love. And CM Punk is more of an anti-hero where he is a hero, but he will get dirty, he will talk his ish, and he will fight scrappy in order to get what he
Yeah.
wants. And he's as selfish as Roman is. They both want to be the best, and that's where they are, right? Hunter.
But these are the best characters. Like again, like for me, like
Rock
again,
versus
this is the
Austin.
same thing. Rock versus Austin, like The Rock and Austin, like character wise, like they're like except when Austin turned heel and joined Vince McMahon, like their specific like characters did not change heel or face. They were still smash mouth. They were still shit talkers. It was just about how they directed that shit talk that kind of changed who they were. But like realistically, like even with The Rock as the final boss, like as soon as he dialed it up and started talking shit to the crowd, they were like, "Wait, that's the Rock they remember. We like this."
Yeah.
Right. So like Roman, again, he is the same guy. Like nothing has changed. It's just that people just decided that like that's the guy that we fuck with, and he's going after all the people that we don't fuck with. So we're okay with it. Yeah, I think like this. Yeah, this match definitely has the potential to be a really really good one. And I'm very much like I prefer main event single championship matches for Mania. I just feel like it just fits right. I hate when they go the multi row because I feel like they're just trying to cover
Bases.
too many bases, and I feel like you don't really get like the best quality out of it. Although the triple threat match between Punk, Roman, and Seth Rollins last year was phenomenal. The build to it was great, but I also felt like there was a lot of stuff that was kind of like shoved in there that I felt that you wouldn't be able to get with a true one-on-one situation. So now that we're getting the true one-on-one, like you would think, oh, there could be fatigue because we've seen this already again last year, but there isn't. Like it still feels just as fresh and it feels huge. So definitely a great call on that point.
I have three things from this. So the first one being what you said, the triple threat. That's most likely where the WWE title is going to go. It's probably going to be Drew, Jacob Fatu, and Cody Rhodes, which I don't mind. But as you said, it shouldn't main event night 2. It should main event night 1. And honestly, it's good because CM Punk now gets his true main event because night 2 will be a main event. Like it will end WrestleMania completely, and it's going to be a huge blockbuster, like he's always wanted. Again, Tribal Chief. It's his reason. Because I don't see, besides Cody Rhodes, I don't see CM Punk main eventing WrestleMania with anyone else as night 2.
The irony is that the person that he buried on his podcast is the one he's relying on to get the main event, but we won't talk about that.
Exactly. Point number 2, I'm going to quickly go in the chat. Triple H said, doesn't Roman have a condition? He did have cancer. I think it's in remission right now. It was leukemia. That's how you know as much for modern wrestling. Matt's helped him out with the reason. Hunter, just checking, so it makes sense that he would pace himself. Exactly. But it's more so like he's getting older too. Obviously, with all the medicine and stuff, it impacts him.
Yeah.
And then the third thing, sorry,
I was gonna say he's kept himself in really, really good shape. So I don't like the medication that he takes is like a lifelong thing. He has to keep the medication going to kind of help with the leukemia to make sure that it doesn't regress. But that's also why he's in the shape that he is in now because he has to keep himself at that point so that he can go right. So I don't think pacing is going to be too bad of an issue here. Like I think he paces himself just fine. He's had a number of singles matches since his diagnosis. I think he's had his best matches post diagnosis, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, I don't think pacing with Roman's going to be an issue here.
And then the third thing, and it's probably pretty important. This is the 4th time the World Heavyweight Championship is going to main event WrestleMania as the final night. So let's count them. The first one, WrestleMania 20, the World Heavyweight Championship between Shawn Michaels, Triple Habibi, and Redacted.
And the guy who won. And the guy who won that match. And then the second, WrestleMania 21, Triple H versus Batista. Still one of my top WrestleManias. I love that WrestleMania so much. That match was great. The
third one was WrestleMania 24 between The Undertaker and Edge.
So that did main event, right? Because I've always been curious about that, but yeah, they did close out the show.
And all 3 of them, the championship was changed hands. Redacted won, Batista won, and Undertaker won. So Roman, he's got a big thing going. That's it. That's all my facts. It's just a fact of life.
Well, here is another fact for you. This main event for Roman will be the 11th WrestleMania main event that Roman has competed in. Can you name the first 10 main events of Roman Reigns? Or do you want me to go through them?
Sorry, say it one more time because the
The
chat glitched a little bit.
transitions?
Yeah.
So this main event for Roman Reigns is going to be the 11th WrestleMania main event for Roman Reigns.
Okay. Can I name
Can
all of
you
them?
name? Yes.
Sorry, Triple H in the
I
chat
can go
saying what
through
is
them.
happening. Just glitch it right now. I got you right now.
Yeah.
Ready? Brock
Okay.
Lesnar. Brock
Uh
Lesnar. Brock Lesnar. Brock
huh.
Lesnar. Done. The swoosh
So
swoosh, yeah. It was just like glitches right now. I was trying to figure it out. My
we
apologies.
got Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 31, WrestleMania 32, Triple H, WrestleMania 33, I believe, was Undertaker. WrestleMania 34 was Brock Lesnar. He came back from his cancer diagnosis in 35, so he did not main event that. 36, he was not there because COVID. 37 was triple threat match between Edge and Daniel Bryan. 38 was Brock Lesnar. 39 was Cody Rhodes. 40 was
Wait,
him and Rock versus Seth Rollins and Cody. And then the night after, him versus Cody. And then last year's WrestleMania was the triple threat match between him, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins.
And this year was CM Punk.
And this year with CM Punk will be the 11th.
Also, another shout out. Whenever someone wins the Royal Rumble, I believe it should be the main event of the night. And it's happening. Good for Roman.
Yes. Yes. I honestly, like, personally for me, yeah, I think the Royal Rumble winner should main event. So I think that the main event for night one should be Liv Morgan's match.
Yeah.
But,
And on
but,
top of that, sorry, yeah, continue.
no, I was going to say it's probably not going to be that, but I think it should be. But who knows? If the build for her match is incredible and the men's WWE Championship match kind of flops towards a build, maybe we will see that. I think it'd be really cool.
I still think it's going to be the co-main event. It's probably going to be the second match of the night.
I think so too. But, we'll see.
Another thing, while we're on that topic, Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble last year. Did not main event. I'm pretty sure it was like the third or second match of night one
I
or
think he
night
opened.
two.
He opened night one.
Now, the Royal Rumble winner and the World Heavyweight Championship has moved on to the main event of all of WrestleMania. Because even I think the one before, it was Seth Rollins as world champion. He defended against Drew as the first match of night two, and he lost the title. And the cash in happened, which was a very quick match, I think.
It was like 5 minutes.
So the world title hasn't been showcased, and I think CM Punk's been doing really good as of late. But someone like Roman Reigns would showcase it better, and it would lead perfect to a feud with either Seth Rollins or Braun Breaker in the future. Yeah,
I agree.
And the next year,
I
Braun
very much
Breaker's
agree.
World Heavyweight Champion. I think they should pull the trigger, and then
Next
he
year,
made
Breaker
events
versus
with Oba Femi. Yeah,
Clock it.
exactly. And I think that'd be perfect. All right, you already been here for an hour and 12 minutes. My family's all asleep. That's why I'm trying to tie quality. Grain of salt or sheets? Might have to take the rest of it here.
We can do the sheets first, I guess.
Okay. I don't think there's much sheets.
Let's get lost in the sheets.
It worked. Let's go. All right, we're in the sheets.
Okay. This is the newfound Derek's Clean bed sheets, where we tuck ourselves in and we have a great night. But before we do, we talk about some things that are rumbling around in the wrestling world.
Rumbling?
And so let's start off. As we mentioned before, the identity of Braun Breaker's Royal Rumble attacker was revealed. Apparently, it was Grayson Waller. Whether or not that is actually going to turn into a storyline, we don't know. More than likely, it is probably just going to be the tease of Seth Rollins returning. As I have mentioned multiple times before, I was always expecting Rollins to be available for WrestleMania, so it seems like they're turning the wheels to potentially have Braun versus Seth at WrestleMania. So for anyone wondering what Braun's going to be doing at Mania, that's more than likely going to be it. Tommaso Ciampa has won the TNT Championship as of this past Saturday. His first match with AEW, and he has gold. He has now renamed the title Sylvie as opposed to Goldie because the title is silver. So congrats to Tommaso Ciampa for taking advantage of his jump to AEW. Major update on Brock Lesnar's rumored WrestleMania 42. I kind of don't even want to open this. We'll open it anyways. Blah 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 blah.
Obafemi.
So Obafemi. According to this, it says it's still up in the air. Things might not be that simple. Best revealed that match is not 100% confirmed. He said that it should be, but I had asked about a bunch of matches for Mania. Most of them were correct as it turned out, including Roman Reigns, CM Punk. But the one I was not told, I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. There's a whole lot of it's going to be Obafemi. Let's
gonna be
not
Obafemi.
speculate it. It's going to be Obafemi.
Quickly, in the chat, Triple H says in the sheets, Matt says he's upset that the sheets are clean. And he says that he's here. So he wants the whole claim to his
Those are
segment.
not his sheets. They're not his sheets anymore. Until he comes back and claims the segment, they're my sheets now, and my sheets are clean.
Sheets are clean.
Let's see what
also
else.
thought it was Jon Moxley.
Huge some in the sheet stuff. Chelsea Green has finally made public her thoughts about Michael Hayes essentially burying her on WWE Unreal.
Yeah.
And said that obviously she was not very happy about it for a number of reasons. One, although she knows about her position within WWE and knows that she can make the best of whatever situation she's put in, she also feels that the fact that like it's been pretty much like made public that there is a ceiling as to where they expect her to be is very disconcerting and like pretty shitty, and I would agree. Right, like you can't really say that this is the land of opportunity when you have like one of the head guys in WWE basically say like this is as far as you're going to go, right? So she also made the comment that like the fact that it wasn't even something that was communicated to her, but it was something that was put on national TV, whereas where she found out, it's pretty shitty. And I agree with her. Honestly, I don't like Michael Hayes. I never have. I honestly don't even know why he's still a part of the team, to be honest with you. I think he's an outdated part of WWE. I understand that he's got a great mind for the business because he's been involved with wrestling in so long. But I think part of being able to bring fresh eyes to the product and have a fresh perspective is not relying on the opinions of a whole bunch of old farts. So that's just my 2 cents about it. Especially an old fart yes man like Michael Hayes, but you know that's a whole thing in itself. Also Bruce Pritchard, but whatever, they're making money, so. Let's see what else we got in here. Roman Reigns' jacket on Monday Night Raw costed over $1,000. I think that's honestly.
Did we know we're in Derek's Grain of Salt already? They're saying that you're taking a hot take in the chat, but I think it's honest. Like they literally told her, they literally told her this is your ceiling, this is the furthest you can go in wrestling, and that's your position, that's where she belongs. But I'm like, dude, she's like one of the most cheered wrestlers, and yeah, she's like the little funny villain or whatever, but like she can still go, she can still win championships, she can still try harder. She's no Charlotte Flair, of course, but like she can still like we just talked about CM Punk and Roman Reigns. They're not the best wrestlers in the ring. They have great characters, and people are behind them. That's why we want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to watch Daniel Bryan push me to sleep, bro.
Let's see what else we got. If you want to delve into AEW, there was an anti-ice chant that broke out of the main event of AEW when MJF was competing in an eliminator match against Brody King, who squashed him in like less than 5 minutes. And they recreated the same spot with Gunther and Dragon Lee on that show too, which was kind of funny.
What city were they in?
They were in, I don't remember. Maybe the report would tell me. Blah 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 blah. He applauds. Blah 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 blah. Despite the blah 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 blah. They didn't really say. They didn't say what city they were in, but I feel like it would make sense if they were in Minnesota or something. But I don't know. But yeah, I think that's all I have in terms of the sheets. Nothing else really matters here. yes, that's pretty much it. So let's go to my great assault, shall we?
Okay.
Won't keep saying it. I take it with a grain of salt.
We are in the grain of salt. Here's why, Derek.
You know what's actually funny? I actually do have another sheet, but we can put it into the great assault as well. AJ Styles was on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, What's Your Story? In which one thing we actually did not mention about AJ Styles' match was the post match when he was about to put his gloves in the ring, but then he picked them back up and put them back on. You know, kind of did his thing to the crowd and then walked out. And Stephanie McMahon asked him, "What does that mean?" And AJ Styles basically said that never say never. So he said, like, probably not going to wrestle anytime soon, maybe. But at the same time, I'm not closing the door on an idea of getting in the ring, and mentions that, like, what if his son becomes a wrestler? Like, he would love to, like, you know, be in a ring with his son and wrestle together with him. So kind of dancing around the idea whether or not he is fully done. But I don't think any of us really believe that he's fully done. Whether that means that he's going to do stuff this year, I don't know. But he has not closed the door to a in-ring return. And yeah, personally, I think he will probably do another match, maybe within this year. I don't think it'll be with WWE, and I don't think it's going to be with AEW. I honestly could see him going to TNA and doing a couple, maybe like a last match there. I think it'd be really cool for TNA if he was able to do that as well.
Yeah.
But some people have the thought process of like, because I think Peter Rosenberg after the show pretty much like doubled down on the fact that like Styles was done. And he felt that that was done in a way to essentially set Styles up to be the bad guy if he decides that he's actually not done wrestling and he wrestles for a different company. Because it's like, oh, well, he lied and said he was retired, but he actually isn't, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Styles is a veteran and he's one of the greatest to ever do it. So whatever he chooses to do, I am all for. So F you, Peter Rosenberg. Secondly, grain of salt. In regards to the WWE Championship situation, I know that the running theory and the running thought process is that it is going to be a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. And although that seems to be kind of set, I feel like there is two possibilities here that you could go. And I feel like what I feel could happen and I think should happen is that I think that Randy should be involved.
Okay.
I think that they have obviously teased the... I say a fatal four-way. I think that they have teased a lot that there is... Randy's obviously wanting to be involved in a situation. Every time Cody and Randy are in a ring together, like Cody like does something that like really realistically should get him punted in the head, and then like nothing happens. Randy's not doing anything currently. Like there's really nothing slated for him for what he can do. I think they could easily turn this into a fatal four-way situation where Randy kind of beefs, like he's got beef with all three of these guys. You could tie in the whole idea of like who attacked Jacob Fatu and putting Randy in the mix because he was also one of the prime suspects when they first did that whole storyline either. And that could be your build leading up to WrestleMania. Or if you have that much faith in Jacob, you could just do Jacob versus Drew and do Randy versus Cody. Just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
But I honestly think a fatal four-way seems like a more of a feasible chance and an idea that you could do for the WWE Championship because I just think there's too many guys that are like sniffing around that scenario. And honestly,
I think
like again, I don't really like, like I don't like multi-man matches for world championships. I've already said that before, but I think that the fatal four-way sounds like a better idea. Because honestly, like Randy was Hoda in a match last year, not his fault and not Kevin Owens' fault, but Kevin Owens like couldn't compete, and so I feel that like Randy is due for something big, something good.
Yeah.
And I feel like they keep on like sort of pushing this whole thing to the side when realistically it should just be done and over with, and maybe it can lead towards like a whole feud later on in the future. But I just think that like he's there, like let's use him to the best that you can and turn this into something really, really cool. So that's what I got for that.
Honestly, it's probably the best option because, like as you said, if it was those other two matches, I wouldn't care because one, the championship wouldn't be on the line between Cody and Randy, And
Cody
then
Randy,
I
yeah.
don't want to see Drew versus Jacob Fatu. That's just a SmackDown match to me. So Fatal 4 would actually make it entertaining for a little, event that we have going on, our little predictions. But
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
well as just like in general, I think it would be a fun match. It would showcase all 4 wrestlers. Jacob Fatu could come out WWE champion. Drew can retain. Randy can get, was it 15 now? That way he can start counting up. And then Cody can
Hmm.
take it right back and it causes their feud. Like there's many things that you can build off of the story, right? So
Hmm.
it's perfect, honestly.
Yeah. My other thing is something that I had mentioned earlier in the podcast, and that was the influence of the Judgment Day.
Okay.
And I want to talk about
We'll break it down.
how, well, like break them up, like for all I care. Like hopefully they actually pull the trigger this time, but
We're
I
teasing.
don't want their influence to be lost on anybody because the Judgment Day has been perfect for the development of everybody who has been involved in it, with the exception of Finn Balor. But I think Finn Balor was already an established guy going into it, and I don't think his role in the Judgment Day was to build him. I think it was to help these other guys be elevated, kind of like what Edge's original intention was with the group when he first brought it together. But you look at everybody who's come out of it. Damian Priest is now a single star, floundering a little bit, but still a single star, kind of doing his own thing. Liv Morgan has gone from being a star who has kind of been on the cusp of being a main event star within the women's division. Dominic Mysterio is flipping over like nothing we've ever seen before, and like that was not the case before he joined the Judgment Day. Raquel Rodriguez has now been full of like primed to be like a big like star within the women's division too. How we're and honestly, the way that they kind of build up this whole match between with Liv Morgan's decision could also have huge like implications on what Raquel does and how she's being viewed. But I think that the Roxanne Perez, like in terms of like jumping from NXT to the main roster, she has kept up with everything so far, and I think that could also just speak to the ability and
The
like
cherry
the
blossom.
hype of Roxanne. But like yes, but also just I think that like the Judgment Day has done her wonders in being able to build her up as a star too. So I think the faction itself has done a great job of making these guys into bigger deals, even though the faction itself it feels stale. The people involved in it have become better as a result of it. So
Yeah.
if you were to put this in a flop or not situation, I think that the faction itself is not a flop. I think it did exactly what it needed to do. That being said, I'm ready for them to move on.
I'm still excited every time I see Judgment Day on the screen, so I'd be a shame that they're gone. I feel like people would hate it when they're gone. And honestly, like I think now they're all strong on their own. Maybe Roxanne Perez can do her own thing, maybe on a SmackDown, because Raquel's clearly always been that strong villain, and obviously Liv is a superstar, and so is Dom. Finn is already starting to get developed a little bit more, and I don't even know where JD McFunko Pop went. And honestly, I don't really care. Sorry, not sorry,
He's
but
injured. He's injured. He's injured.
yeah.
Yeah.
Triple H in the chat says that's more than a grain of salt, and that looks like a whole blood pressure. I guess it's probably like the salt I was pouring. But yeah, that's all I got left.
That's what I got for my takes. But yeah, I kind of felt like I emptied the clip a little bit tonight, which I'm usually a little bit more, I think, subdued and a little bit more impartial.
Yes, I know.
But if you know, sometimes I we have to call it as it is, and
We did, and honestly, I see a lot of shared opinion online. So let me switch it back here. There's one more thing that I was gonna put. I was gonna ask a question before we end the podcast. It's already an hour and a half. My last question of the day: do you think? I guess it could be a lot more. We'll do just the men's main events for this week. Do you think Drew or CM Punk come out as champions at a WrestleMania? And if not, who or why?
definitely CM Punk side. I think Roman's winning the title.
Yeah,
Like, there's no doubt in my mind. I think
unless The
Roman's
Rock
winning.
comes. Of course.
I think that even though Punk has done amazing since he's been back, and he has done a lot to kind of rectify the bridge that he defiantly burned, like how many years ago? What I have seen in my time as a wrestling fan is that no matter how well you do, you always have to sort of pay it back and like have your receipt coming. I think that there are a lot of receipts that are there. I think the stuff like I don't find it to be coincidental that CM Punk has had his run through every member of the Shield, because I think in a lot of ways he stained them the most. He did the honors for Moxley in AEW. He hasn't done the honors for Seth yet. I think the only reason why is because Seth has been injured. And I think that if they were able to continue that feud, I think he would have put Seth over.
Yeah.
But I think that like he has to do the honors for Roman here. I just feel that from a vindication standpoint, like again, a lot of what Roman said is real. Like Punk, although he was having a bad day, a bad week, a bad year, a bad like go leading up to the end of the end of his tenure there, and a lot of the things that he said were very much justified. It was a lot of the stuff that people were thinking but just weren't willing to say. It definitely set WWE back in a sense where they like a lot of the guys had to pick up from all the stuff that he said and all the stuff that he kind of left behind. And so I think that it is general that like you kind of have to, you know, pay it forward for the guys that you stand. And honestly, like it's more so proof that like, yo, like you said all this shit, but like these guys did exactly what like the blueprint that you said that you were leaving behind for people, these guys did. One of Cody Rhodes' like most infamous promos he cut on AEW right before he left is that CM Punk said all these things, and I did every single thing that he said that he was willing to do, and I was the guy that like picked up the ball when he left, right? So I think there are a lot of people that the respect is there for sure because he is a pioneer within the wrestling business, and he is doing his best to really be the guy that is receptive to everything. But I think at the end of the day, especially with like a few people, like he has to also give those guys like their flowers. So I can absolutely see Roman beating him,
Yeah.
and I think it'll kind of come full circle, like I said, if they do that. In regards to Drew, honestly, I don't know what the hell's going on there. So I
We'll hold that question for next time.
feel no, honestly, because again, like when it comes to, I could see honestly, I could see Drew retaining at Mania. If they do a multi-man match, I could see Drew retaining. But I don't know where that leads. But I honestly do see, because I feel like, especially when doing a multi-man match, like I feel like there are a lot of complications that could lead to other things that could happen that could build towards other storylines that are less predictable than like, oh, this person got his title back. Um, Maybe it's Cody fatigue too. I just don't want to see the belt on Cody right now.
Yeah.
I think he is very much one of the guys who, and no disrespect to Cody because he's still doing great stuff, but he's definitely a better chaser than he is a champion.
I think they need to
I
tease
just
him
think
more
that
as a face trying to chase and make it desperate, and then afterwards turn him heel when they are eventually gonna give him the championship. You know?
yeah, like I would be down for a heel run. I just think that like we've seen with both of his title reigns, there aren't enough people there to be his opponents as a
Spoiled.
babyface champion. And honestly, we see the same thing with Cody, where all these guys like turn because they want to have that title, and then Cody comes out and says enough. And honestly, I'm sick of it. I want to see something different. And honestly, even with what we've gotten with Drew, although his match with Sammy was kind of meh, I think there are a lot more guys that can challenge Drew and build like some better stories with. Like you could do Jacob, you could do Randy, you can run it back with Cody again. Uh, like Damian Trick. Like there are a lot of guys that
A lot
like
of
can do
faces.
stuff with Drew. That I just think would be cooler, and I think we'll probably run through and won't drag as much as we would with Cody. And honestly, I think if Cody's reigns weren't really
Cody
filled
Reigns.
with like if Cody's stuff wasn't filled with like long drawn out feuds, I think it would be better. But I just think that right now, I want to see some variability with the WWE Championship. I don't want it to be like the same thing. And it's not to say that Cody's ever going to win the title again, but I do think that a heel Cody champion would be really cool. Um, But I guess it all comes down to money and metrics and seeing if that is something that would make sense from a revenue standpoint. But just because it may work from a storyline perspective, storyline and revenue don't always coincide, right? So if the money doesn't make sense, like Cody's gonna stay a face.
Yeah.
Um, but I can see Drew holding it for a bit longer.
Okay. And that is our podcast for the week. Appreciate everyone stopping by. We had a lot to talk about this week because of the Road to WrestleMania beginning, the Royal Rumble. We'll see, because it was a pretty good Raw. Let's see how next week, or I guess tomorrow for SmackDown, how it will go now that we're back in North America. See what storylines they build on SmackDown. It's kind of guaranteed that Liv Morgan's going to fight Stephanie Bakir for the world title. I also feel like that's going to become a triple threat with Raquel, but we'll see. And see if Raw continues its pace, because Roman could just not show up. CM Punk would have to like kind of do a promo battle by himself. Maybe he'll be sick. Maybe it won't. We'll see some Oba. We'll see some Brock. Hopefully. To build it up, North America Boo. Till then, it's been your boy Eric VSC.
This is Derek of EDFC.
Of course. And we'll see you guys next week for the wrestling podcast. And for me here on EMFC, of course, you probably see me this weekend because I'm going to be more free. And I most likely will be trying to beat Donkey Kong Bonanza for the first time. So let's see how far I go with that. Till then, see you guys next time. Peace.